has the second largest population of any nation on Earth. Its 1 billion people live in an area only 1/3 the size of the continental United States. With so many people, India has not been able to provide adequate jobs, housing, and social services. In the face of such enormous needs, a number of Christian groups are stepping in to help. Here's how Youth with a Mission is coming to the aid of families trapped in the squalid slums of Madras.
8 million people live in the South Indian city of Madras, known as Chennai. Unfortunately, 2.5 million of them live in slums. Indians are drawn to the city hoping to make big money, but soon find out it's not a land flowing with milk and honey. Most new arrivals are poor villagers who can't afford house rent, so they end up living in a squatter's village or slum. 2,000 people live just in this particular slum, which is smaller than 2 soccer fields.
It's a hellhole they're living in.
There's no running water or electricity here. Open sewage, piles of trash, and swarms of flies breed constant sickness and disease. Local Christians and Youth with a Mission, or YWAM teams, working in these slums face enormous challenges.
I think the greatest thing that people face in the slums is rejection. They feel like they're outcast of society. And when Christians come in and just sit with them and make friends with them and share the gospel with them, give them medical help, love them, help them with their income, give them jobs, they feel somebody cares for me.
Many of the slum dwellers have TB or some form of cancer. This woman's husband was very sick. They prayed with him and he was baptized before he died. Others have been healed as the team prayed for them.
The doctor said the baby would not live. And so the team, again, just came in, and a real faith-believing team. They laid hands on the little baby, and looks pretty good to me. Looks like the child's doing pretty good.
Prayers for help were answered when medical personnel joined the ministry. They treat the squatters for everything from simple colds to open sores. They've earned the respect of the people, despite having to make do with limited medical supplies. The ministry team also find themselves dealing with hurting relationships. This woman was about to break up with her husband. The team counseled her, and the marriage was saved. And now she's become a Christian. In the summer months, temperatures inside these huts soar to 120 degrees, creating a serious threat of fires. Within minutes, a whole neighborhood can go up in flames. Invariably, it's the small children and old folks who die in the fire. But miracles do happen. Not long after this lady became a Christian, her hut caught on fire. She says she cried out to the Lord, and immediately the fire died down. But if the summer is bad, the monsoon season is even worse.
When the rains come in here, this will be like a river just flowing through here.
Rainwater mixes with open sewage and trash and flows right into the huts. Cholera and malaria rise to epidemic proportions. To provide some relief, the ministry brought in plastic sheets to cover the roof, the muddy floors, and holes in the wall.
Actually, the people almost broke out into a riot when we came because they were so desperate wanting the plastic just to protect themselves from the heavy rain that was coming in. So once we did that, we had a big open door here, and people really responded to us.
This particular slum has been here for the past 21 years, but the people have little incentive to fix their huts. After all, they say the land still belongs to the government. Without warning, the authorities will come in and bulldoze a whole village. That's what happened to this group. With nowhere to go, they ended up living on the sidewalks. When the men find work as rickshaw drivers, construction workers, or porters, they make good money, but it's soon squandered on alcohol, drugs, witchcraft, and gambling, so the cycle of poverty never ends. It's up to many of the women to find jobs to support their families, but on payday, many husbands forcefully take the money away.
When the husband doesn't give money, they found that they cannot give food for the children, they are not able to educate.
To counter the problem, the YWAM team began a savings program for these women.
This is the book that they are using it. Every week they enter the rupees and it is a total.
When the group's account reaches 500 rupees or $12, these women can take out a loan to start a small business.
So they are able to make money, and that gives them a confidence that they can support the family, which they didn't have a hope.
While the women are at work, some of the children attend a daycare center, also started by the team. The children get an education with biblical values, along with one healthy meal a day. The practical love shown by these Christian workers has opened the hearts of people in the slums of Madras. There's even a small church in each of the slums where they work.
It's one thing to come in the slum and preach that Jesus loves you, but they have to see it from us as Christians. And the more they see it, then the more they begin to accept and respond to the gospel.
George Thomas, Christian World News.
You can find this story and more on the World Wide Web at cwnews.org. We'll be back in a moment. Please stay with us.